it is.
Well, there it is. And what have we got today? It's DkH.Rain spawning as the dark green undead at the top of Turtle Rock. And a little bit below him we have l1ul1ng, the red orc, who's spawning basically, you know, left of Turtle Rock. What would you call it? I don't know. Probably about 9:30 PM? Yeah? Could be 9:30 AM. Depends what time they played this game. I don't know. It didn't say on the replay, but what I do know is this is, of course, an orc versus undead on Turtle Rock. So we've got Ultra Storms, we've got Barracks. You might expect to see a Blade Master and Grunts. I don't know. Call me crazy, but you might expect to see that. And it looks like the Fiend build for DkH.Rain with his 5 acolytes. Oh, he's getting a good little block here. Cigarettes, Graveyard, and then something to finish it off. Make sure that that Blade Master cannot get to your acolytes. Deny him. There are no Zeppelins on this map. So yeah, you're not going to be able to drop the Blade Master at the back. Unless he can do some sort of a sneaky trick, which sometimes I've seen Blade Masters do. But I think it works in human bases where they drop an item. I don't know if it still works, but if you get a Grunt at the corner and then get sort of to the left of the Grunt with Windwalk and attack it, sometimes it sort of teleports you magically inside the base. It's very risky, pretty hard to pull off, so don't expect to see it. But it's nice to know that it does exist. Bugs can be fun. As long as they're hard to do. If they're easy to do, then the game's going to be glitchy and buggy as hell, and it's not going to be much fun for anyone. It's more of a sort of a skill kind of thing. So we can see a Grunt coming out for our boy, and a Blade Master. So that's good. Good for him. Well done, l1ul1ng. I'll have to get used to calling him l1ul1ng. That's probably not his real name, and he's probably got some secret name that isn't mentioned here, and someone's going to tell me in the comments, and feel free. I'm here to learn, as are we all. And a DK, no doubt. First Fiend is almost out. Tome of Relics. Tome, again, Tome. Tome! Why do I want to say Tome? I don't know. Tome of Relics. And yeah, we've got Blade Master coming straight in here for the attack on the frickin' Cigarette, and he's going to get it. There's nothing that's going to stop this, and these acolytes are going to be free to be attacked, and the Nerubian Tower isn't even closer. This Blade Master might be able to pick off a kill, but the Death Knight is almost out. As long as he can keep these acolytes alive, he'll be somewhat okay, but this is definitely not ideal, having a Blade Master inside of your base. But he's throwing down the Dust of Appearance, so that's great. Damage is slowly going down on that Blade Master, and he hasn't had to waste any mana coiling these acolytes, so that's a smart move there by Rain. He's definitely making sure that he's not wasting mana, because those acolytes will heal up as long as they don't die. You don't need to coil them, just make sure they don't die. So good job there by Rain. He's going to move out here to his top creep camp, pick off an ogre warrior or two, and maybe a couple of trolls, and hopefully get himself a circlet of nobility or something to that effect. We've got 2 fiends throwing down the deeps, and the skeletons are going to be doing the tanking. Let's have a little look, see what item it's going to be. Oh, it's a circlet of nobility. There you go. So we've got l1ul1ng, who's actually going to choose to go for this giant sea turtle. He's definitely easily going to be able to pick it off before Rain can get over here. What is he going to get for himself? Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. Not too bad. At least it's a Gauntlets of Ogre Strength that Rain isn't getting, because that'd be nice for his Death Knight. He's throwing down the healing salve. Got to be a little bit careful though. Doesn't want to get hit once with those fiends, otherwise he's going to have to throw down another one. 33 gold per salve, if you look at it that way, because you get 3 charges, and you get up to 3 from 100 gold. So he's picking himself up some boost of speed. Didn't get himself a circlet of nobility, but a boost of speed is going to be by far the main thing that you buy from the shop. And he's got a scroll of speed as well, which is going to be very helpful for these grunts to keep up with any fiends, should they choose to pursue them. And a grunt here actually doing the opposite. He's going to be running away. He doesn't want to stay and fight versus that. What are we going to get item wise from here? Claws of Attack +6. It's looking good so far for l1ul1ng. And he's almost to tier 2. Grunt still coming out. Halfway to tier 2 for Rain. He's now rebuilding that Cigarette, and it's going to go up this time, but no doubt that did quite a bit of damage to him. He didn't want that to happen because... Oh, a lovely gank in here. Just caught that. The coil going off. DkH.Rain taking the experience there. Might give a little bit away, but doesn't. He denies experience twice. Taking the coil throwing it at a forest troll, so stopping l1ul1ng from getting the experience there, and then TKing, killing his own skeleton. So that way l1ul1ng doesn't get any experience from that either. Very nice indeed. And this is a lovely, nice kill still there. And he's can't quite get in there. The grunts are slightly too fat, and they deny him the ability to pick up that item, which was only a cloak of shadow, so no one particularly wanted it. But it's like, hey, it's better that I have it than you have it. So a couple of grunts here might get picked off here. The demon, almost got a demon hunter. The Death Knight is, yeah, he's going to be able to pick off that grunt if he keeps up with it, because that scroll of speed is only going to last so long. A couple of coils will deal with that, but will Rain want to throw them down? And he's going to have to use them quickly, because this grunt might suicide himself up on the red creep camp at the top here. So he could save the coil and wait for him to activate on the creep camp, and then coil and get the last hit, which is almost definitely going to go down in a moment. There it is. He actually throws down the coil without the creeps being activated, so that's great. And l1ul1ng is actually going to almost lose a grunt there, but just picking off the big ass troll before he gets taken down. And he's picked up an amazing item. Mwah! Look at that. Boots of Quel'Thalas +6. That is insane to have on a Blade Master. And we've got Shadow Hunter coming out, Bestiary, maybe a Shadow Lodge, but the War Mill and the Bestiary is definitely going through. Tier 3 has now started to research for Rain, and he's got a Slaughterhouse nicely placed on the left-hand side here. Oh, I hope this Shadow Hunter it's got the Cloak of Shadows now. That's pretty good actually, because if he gets too much attention from undead heroes, he can use that. That's if they don't have Dust of Appearance, otherwise he's in trouble anyway. He's going to do a little bit of tanking now, because the rest of the army is trying to heal up from the healing cells. It's only a Shadow Hunter and a Grunt that's basically quite healthy at the moment, because if Rain was to come across them, he'd have quite a lot of fun coiling them. But he wants to wait until he gets level 3 before he coils them, because then he can get level 2 death coils, which are going to do a nice chunk of damage, 200 damage to enemy units. Slightly less to heroes, because heroes take 70% worth of damage from magic, so 100 damage would do 70 damage to them in that case. Oh, Hex thrown down on the Ogre Magi. This is great here for l1ul1ng. He's getting some decent creep camp spots, but DkH.Rain isn't doing too bad for himself either, because this is going to give him a good chunk of experience, easily knocking him into level 3, yes. Oh, greater healing potion. That's pretty nice indeed, especially when you're being heavily focused by the Blade Master. And we've got some good stuff here. You always want to watch a ward on this map. If you can get them, get them. And that involves killing the Ogre Magi, so you've got to go through that whole issue. But if you can get past that, it's going to be great for you. Lich is now out, statues no doubt being built. We can see the Blade Master continuing to attack. He's got a brilliant amount of damage already. Look at him, plus 17 damage. And this is only a level 3 Blade Master right now, so he's still early into the game. He could get quite crazy indeed. Shadow Hunter and the Kodo Beast being the support here, and we're even seeing some Troll Headhunters, so definite suspicion that he might be coming across some destroyers later on. Oh, lovely. Frost armor on an obsidian statue. I like that. It's in case he's worried that the Blade Master might be nearby, so he wants to make it difficult for the Blade Master to gank, because it's pretty typical that orcs will leave their Blade Master after a while to just harass you, much in the same way that Death Knight, undead players use their Death Knights to harass. Watch out for the Frost armor. Oh, there we go. Blade Master is still a beast at the moment. He's wasting the coil there. He's actually got his army keeping up here, so the army isn't creeping separately, and he's going quite heavy on this Fiend. The Frost armor is going to help out, definitely, but will it be enough? And this is going to use up the Lich's mana as well. Less manas for Frost Nova if he has to keep throwing down Frost armors on the Liches, on the units rather, the Fiends. He's got a multiple choice of units here to pick off, and he's also got a Coda that could potentially eat something should he get into the right position. Blade Master trying to get round here, pull the focus. Orb of Corruption now for that Lich is definitely going to make a bit of a difference, because that means that Rain is going to be chasing down l1ul1ng here. It's still not going to be a comfortable fight, and he could use a very quick reaction there. Very lovely coil there, denying the experience, saving the Fiend. Good job there. l1ul1ng now backing off. He's got a nice mixed army here. Kodo, 4 Grunts, 2 Headhunters that are upgraded into Troll Berserkers, and we've got another Kodo coming out, so that's going to be some Fiends, no doubt, getting munched on later. I don't know whether you can eat a obsidian statue. I don't think you can. That'd be pretty awesome if you could, because that is going to hurt your opponent big time if you can take away obsidian statues from them. And that also denies them from turning into destroyers, but I'm going to assume that you cannot. We've got upgrades as well for our undead friend here. And as you can see, this is the point in the game where the Blade Master stalks the undead. Because the undead, like I say earlier on, would stalk with the Death Knight, because he can pick off last hit kills on creeps and deny experience with coil. And yeah, really good job there. This is pretty much why Rain was frost armoring before. He was prepared, but unfortunately this time he was not prepared. And there we can see that statue is now being morphed into destroyer form, because he can start getting his health back. Whereas statues are mechanical units, they cannot get their health back. We can see a fiend being caught out here. He's not actually choosing to go for that fiend. No, he's going for this fiend instead, switching it up. The DkH Death Knight does not know how to react. This is a bad situation. He knows it. He's getting out. He might be able to pick off a kill here just about, but he's definitely lost at least one fiend. And that wasn't too bad. He got a kill. It could have gone worse, put it that way. He managed to save 2 fiends there. He could have lost 3 fiends instead of 1. He did lose the 350 gold for the TP, and he's given away a bit of control. So, not ideal, but that fight was never going to go well for him. And he knew it, and he realised it early on enough. So, good for him, because that could have gone far worse. 2 Kodos actually managed to pick off an extra fiend, so I might be wrong. There could be 2 fiends potentially dead from this, because when that crit fiend finally gets digested, it's no longer going to be part of DkH.Rain's army. So we can see that l1ul1ng is about to pick up a nice item here, maybe? Manual of Health, I can't see what it is. Oh, Wand of Mana Stealing, an easy 200 gold. But it's not too bad versus undead. You probably still want to sell it. But if you're going to hold on to it, then it's not too bad, because denying undead heroes mana to cast their spells is very effective, because basically undead are very hero dependent and dependent on their spells. Going to want to pick up those items. Helm of Valor? Strength and Agility. A pretty terrible item there. Ah, we got l1ul1ng coming in here from behind. Once again, bringing pain to these obsidian statues. No doubt going to see a destroyer in a moment. No, we're not. I wonder. I want to keep an eye on that. Just see. I think he could have gone into destroyer form, but maybe chose not to. He could have still potentially lost it, though, because the Blade Master does have an orb of lightning, which means that he can attack air units. So even if it did morph into destroyer, the Blade Master might have been able to pick it off. But we can see this is another fight that DkH.Rain is probably going to have to teleport away from. Might want to try to pick off a unit or 2 here very quickly before having to throw down the teleport. He's not going to get it, though. Maybe 1 Troll Berserker. So he gets a Troll Berserker, but he loses more because he actually has to use a TP. And once again, l1ul1ng gets a bit more control. And l1ul1ng's going to be kind of happy here, because he's actually not going to come across it. He might have already assumed it's crept, and I don't think it is. No, this isn't crept yet, and that would be a great spot for him to get, because this would basically mean that DkH.Rain will not be able to walk around the map so comfortably without being spotted. And we see a level 4 Blade Master, level 3 Shadow Hunter, so this is very, very good for l1ul1ng. He's in a very strong spot right now. So he's able to throw down a level 2 Wind Walk, and he's got the level 2 crit, and we've got level... probably, I don't know, maybe level 1 Hex and level 2 Healing Wave. I'm not exactly sure which way Orcs tend to always go, and they might switch it up for all I know. Unfortunately, I cannot tell unless I start to count down how long a Hex goes on for, but I probably won't go into that much detail. We've got 2 Wind Riders coming out here as well, so a very mixed army here. So he's going to really make it kind of awkward for Rain, because when you're against, you know, a player that goes only grunts and raiders, then you kind of know where you stand. But when you're against grunts, headhunters, wind riders, kodos, there's a bit of everything. So there's no strong counter here for that army. You just got to have a pretty well mixed army yourself. I mean, I'm not a pro, but I would probably just suggest to play it safe and go along the route of statues, fiends, and abominations and destroyers. Just a destroyer here or 2. But you obviously don't need that many, because normally Orc will have a lot of cowcasters, which are spirit walkers, amongst their army. So that way they can sort of spread the amount of damage they take with Spirit Link and potentially disenchant, which Spirit Link is something that you can devour magic using the destroyers. But since we haven't got any cowcasters, there's not really that much to devour. Only hexes. You could devour the hex, but that's about it. So destroyers aren't actually going to be that useful here, which will throw off our undead friend here, DkH.Rain, but he does seem to have somewhat of an answer to it. He has decided to get himself a Temple of the Damned and Adept Necromancers. We don't see a Spirit Lodge at all for l1ul1ng, so he is not worried about getting casters. Blade Master, scouting around, just checking up on his undead friend, seeing what's going on. Playing it safe, pulling back creeps. I don't know if he's going to pick them off there. He's just checking whether he's going to go for them now by the looks of it. But he has got the right to pretty much any creep on this map right now, although he doesn't quite have vision at this point in time, but he has been checking up on his undead friend quite well. And unfortunately for Rain, he seems to be in a situation where he can't feel comfortable enough to even come out of his base. He has to send a skeletal warrior to keep an eye on his opponent, and then that might give him the information he needs to know to come and creep. Well, this spot is taken, so he can't even do that. He would need to creep something nearby, and unfortunately for Rain, everything nearby is pretty much dead, and l1ul1ng has rights to everything else. But this was a good scout. That's good information to know that your opponent has an expansion. But who else has an expansion? Ooh, it's DkH.Rain, and it's quite comfortably on the way. All he needs is a few more acolytes to get that gold mining. Oh, lovely little trick here. I don't know whether he used a ghoul to creep that or whether it was chopped. The wood was chopped by peons, but he can slip through here just about to get behind the orc base. This is going to make it hard for l1ul1ng to get in there, but it's still not a good fight for Rain because he's just not strong enough to deal with this. But he might be able to pick off a couple of Wind Riders before he gets out, so this is going to be lovely. Blade Master going very heavy there on the Lich. Lich being coiled. He's going to survive now because the DK used the teleport straight after coiling, which is very important because the longer you delay your teleport, the more time they have to kill your Lich, and the Lich only has so much health. So we can see l1ul1ng has actually got a decent expansion up and running, not too much damage taken. The Skeleton Warrior did a little bit of damage, but not too much. Meanwhile, we've actually got a fully operational expansion here right about now, and I don't believe that l1ul1ng knows about this. Don't be fooled by the I can't remember the name of it now. Blight, that's the name. Don't be fooled by the name. Don't be fooled by the blight that you see, because this is only because I'm an observer that I can see that, and it's simply a game bug in terms of mini-map vision and map vision. Blade Master now scouting though, and he's definitely in the right position to do some damage. Might be able to knock his way up to level 5, depends whether Rain is going to TP in here. I assume he is, but the rest of l1ul1ng's army is over here, so if Rain does have to come up here to deal with his Blade Master, his base could be vulnerable from the Orc army. More Necromancers joining in. Master, so we're going to see Cripples going down, which is pretty effective. It's very rare to ever see Necromancers in an undead army, let alone Necromancers going up to Master, but you can understand why, because the best thing you can do to an Orc, really, is to sort of slow their damage in any way, shape or form by reducing the amount of damage, or wow, that ghoul didn't last long, or lovely catch there with the fiends. So this forces l1ul1ng to come back here, try to do a bit of damage. Another Wyvern is going to be caught there. This Wind Rider, I want to call them Wyverns though, but I did call them Wind Riders earlier. Blade Master taking a lot of damage there, but Shadow Hunter healing him up. Oh my goodness, who else is taking a lot of damage? We've got Death Knight taking tons of damage. Fiends being pushed back. Undead isn't quite ready for this. A Destroyer getting caught out by Orb of Lightning, now allowing the Blade Master to notch up to level 5. He's going to be a beast to deal with. Fiends being picked off. I mean, who needs Ensnare from Raiders? You can just freaking use a Blade Master. But he has got Cripple on him, so his attack is very, well, it is slowed down. It's actually at average, but average is very slow for a Blade Master, put it that way. More Orb of Lightnings. Heavy focus here on the Destroyers, just trying to reduce their effectiveness. We've got Curses going down on this Orc army, so again, you're reducing the amount of damage they can do because you're hitting their hit rate, so they've only got 66% chance to hit instead of 100%. And we've got more Acolytes being picked off here. good Shadow Hunter heals going down, but he's out of mana now, so no more support from him in that sense. No clarity pots, no mana pots. Blade Master in a great spot to pick off any more undead units that are just so vulnerable. They're all low health points, so he's going to have access to these Necromancers soon. Banshees, it's all good. He's got himself invulnerability pots, so that means the Blade Master has even more free reign. Kodo hasn't eaten anything, but there is a fiend in this Kodo's belly. More undead units going to be picked off here. This is looking very bad at the moment for DkH.Rain, who now actually has his Death Knight caught, but he manages to get the kill on the Shadow Hunter, and then TP's below here, so he can escape any more focus. Death Knight needs to get out quickly, but the Nerubian Tower going down on the Blade Master, slowing his way. He can only just cast Windward now, and he's not going to be able to keep up with that Death Knight, which he would have desperately loved to do, but the Nerubian Tower being up denies this, giving the undead just a little bit more time. Not many units left, but he's managing to pick off the rest of the units that are slightly in awkward spots, being hit by Web and the Nerubian Tower. This is a great spot. The rest of this Orc army seems to be chasing quite heavily for a Death Knight, which is nowhere near to be found. He's miles away, so this went really well for l1ul1ng, but that pick off of the hero and TPing down here whilst the Nerubian Tower went up was perfect timing for Rain. That couldn't have gone better for him in that circumstance. I was pretty much ready to say that he had lost, but he has not. He's actually doing okay for himself. Both players have an expansion, so they have an easy sort of passage towards getting back up to 50 food, because there's going to be a good chunk of gold coming in for them. And I don't think either of them... Oh, just now l1ul1ng's gone over the 50 food cap because he got his Shadow Hunter. Otherwise he would have been underneath it, and Rain, as we can see, is also underneath his food cap. So if we take a look at l1ul1ng, he's probably going to return back to base, get some healing cells, clarity pots, get his heroes. Ooh, a lot of peons coming out here, but there's still no spirit lodges, so no cowcasters, so he's actually going to use these peons to sort of mine outside of the base. So he's going to get whatever gold he can, despite having an expansion which is actually getting quite owned here. So this is not bad for Rain. He's actually got access here. He's using the Necromancers, spawning skeletons, and just doing slow damage over time to the economy of l1ul1ng. But l1ul1ng actually has a ton of peons coming over here. So normally, Orcs will actually include peons in their army, but that's when they've got cowcasters, spirit walkers, because that way they can share the damage, because you don't really want to be wasting your damage on peons, but you're forced to if a peon is spirit linked with a grunt or a headhunter. So interesting. I guess no, he's chucking them all here. I thought he might bring them in for an attack. He's not got to that point just yet. Oh, those are greedy peons, aren't they? You can only have 5 on a mine, but he doesn't care. He's clearly probably got too much wood. 800 is more than enough in a 1 versus 1 at this point in the game. l1ul1ng so close to level 5. If he could pick off one more creep, he could get a level 5 Shadow Hunter, which would make a big difference. Level 3 Healing Wave is going to be quite humongous versus level 2. So he's so close to it. But if he does get into a battle, his main focus is probably to pick off a Fiend or a Necromancer or something small like that, so he can notch the Shadow Hunter up in level and then worry about focusing the heroes. It depends how he's going to want to play it, but this Blade Master, bear in mind, is almost level 6. That means Blade Storm, if he chooses to go for it. But he is kind of low on mana. Blade Storm is 200 mana, I believe. So it's going to be a little bit tricky if he's going to choose to go for it, because it means no more Wind Walks. He's actually going to go for a Troll Berserker kill with the Blade Master, and I don't know whether this will give the experience to the Shadow Hunter. No, it doesn't. So the Shadow Hunter really should have come in there for a little bit of experience. But never mind. It does look like l1ul1ng's trying to set up shop. He's not going to attack the expansion anymore, which is actually looking quite threatening now, because just a few buildings and that Nerubian Tower in the back makes it actually really quite difficult, because you just got all of your Orc units clumped up together, and the Orc units want to be spread. The Orc army likes big areas to fight in. It doesn't like to be cornered or pigeonholed, and the Shadow Hunter just narrowly escaping the wrath of the ghouls. So we got Necromancers, we got Banshees, Ghouls, Fiends, Destroyers, Statues, a very mixed army here. Both players really going for it. Scroll of Speed being used. This allows the Orc army just to keep up with anything, not get too slowed down, get into the heat of the battle. We've got Wind Riders being picked off. We've got Fiend, look at that. The Blade Master was about to get crit there, but I think the Kodo ate it before it got the crit. I can't tell. It went so fast. Destroyer's being pushed back at the back. We've got Kodo Beast. Lich now being focused by the Blade Master, but the Blade Master's got cripple on him. He can still do amazing damage if he manages to get some crits off, but it's not going to be enough with Frost Armor going off and consistent coils. Fiend's now going to be the focus. Blade Storm going off. Perfect time to do it. Teleport going down. It's not going to be able to go off just before the units get killed, though. Wow. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we've got a level 5 Shadow Hunter now and a level 6 Blade Master and a lot of units left. So not a great fight here for DkH.Rain, who's still sitting with a level 4 Death Knight and a level 4 Lich. It's looking a bit nasty now. He was still back in the game, but that just didn't go too well for him because his army is lacking a bit of DPS and his heroes aren't as strong as his opponent's heroes. He wasn't in a position to pick off really many units that the Orc has. That's unfortunate because he's had to get himself some Necromancers, which are going to be picked off here by a Blade Master. Cripple probably going to go down in a moment. He's got the Curse though, which is really good on the Blade Master. So Curse and Cripple is going to really reduce his DPS. A lot of focus going here on the Blade Master, pushing him back, but he's just going to keep coming back in. Healing waves, there's still going to be at least 2 to go down on that Blade Master. It does look like DkH.Rain is in trouble. Fiend's getting hexed. Death Knight, the Undead Army, hasn't really got much of anything to focus here apart from this Blade Master. Too many units. If you worry about the units, then you've got the Blade Master running around, causing chaos. Invulnerability pot on both the Blade Master and the Death Knight. And the Blade Master is back up to full health. He's going to go straight into the Death Knight. Death Knight does have access to the shop here. That's a strange crit there because it didn't go off. It must have missed in some sort of way, or it looked like the Death Knight didn't take any damage. But he's got access to pots. He's now finally hit level 5, which he definitely needs. Level 3 coils, but it's still not going to be enough. Death Knight so close to going down. The Nerubian Tower on the Blade Master, chasing him down with the cripple. He's going to catch up, and he finally gets the last hit. A couple of troll berserkers just coming in, flanking in from the side, making sure that Death Knight goes down. Kodo in a little bit of trouble here. Both Kodo's going to go down. Bit of support for the Orc army. Still a bit of the Undead army remaining, so it does look like l1ul1ng might want to try to get back here. Another invulnerability pot used by the Blade Master. He's going to stay in the fight a little bit longer, but there's no more healing waves, so he doesn't want to stay too long because he hasn't got a teleport to get out. It's really critical that he tries to get out at this point, because if he loses his hero, which he does, it gives Rain just a bit more chance to stay in the game. Because he could have run out. He's going to lose both of his heroes. Shadow Hunter going down as well. And he actually throws down a GG. And Rain takes it. Madness. Well, there it is. I know that Rain was still quite strong, but I still was thinking that l1ul1ng was going to take that. Maybe I'm wrong. But just say for argument's sake, if he did manage to get out after killing that Death Knight, he's killed a few undead units, and he's got to save both of his heroes. They're out now. They're out of the battle. He's still saved a good chunk of his army. He's got stronger heroes. He needs to return back to base. Clarity pot, healing salve up. The Death Knight might be back by this point in the game, but he's good to go again, and he's still stronger than his opponent. So, I don't know. That was tight. It's because he couldn't get out. He had a chance to get his Blade Master out, but then the Shadow Hunter was also stuck a little bit. So I think there was a slim window for him to get out, and he was probably thinking that maybe, just maybe, I can stay here, finish off the Lich, and take the game. But it didn't quite go that way. Well, there you go. Alright, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. So like the video and favourite it if you want. That helps as well. And if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, then subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.